Yeah, definitely. I saw we've once or twice been linked with Jermaine Defoe, and I think well Andy Carroll is one of the guys which needs crosses from players like Gerrard or Downing. But we certainly striking playmaker. Like we had Torres and all those players that were playing up front, and as soon as they got a chance, they scored all the time, you know. And I think we're definitely missing such a player, and yeah, because Luis Suarez is doing so much work, mostly in the midfield, mostly in a striking position. Yeah, I think we really need such a player like Defoe or Bent.
Yes.
I'll agree with that.
So you agree?
The thing is, Ellie, to get a player like Torres, it cost you £50 million.
Wow.
And that takes that calibre of finisher, although he's had his problems the last season, out of Liverpool's reach.
Yeah.
You know, Defoe wouldn't. No, I agree with you. It's whether or not you know who you want, it's whether or not they're available at the time that you want and need them.
Well, we know what the transfer window's like. It's like a domino effect, and usually everything goes absolutely crazy last minute, and maybe it will again.
I think it will.
Russell, you look a little bit like Cristiano Ronaldo. Has anyone ever said that before?
That's a yes.
Yeah. What about the game itself then? What are the positives? I mean, they talked about how good Raheem Sterling was. Do you think he has a future? Have we not had... I think there are a few negatives about his sort of mentality and his personality that I've heard about.
Yeah, well, definitely. So, I mean, he's only 17 years old. He's got enough time to play for a senior club, and I think for his age, he played really, really well, and I think he should be more in the starting lineup, which he was missing. He was definitely missing last season, and Kenny Dalglish didn't really use him that much. And I think he can make a great impact this season, because I also saw him against Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah, I think he's just a brilliant player, but you know, I mean, he's probably a little bit too young to handle players like Carlos Tevez or Mario Balotelli, and yeah, but his playing ability is just so good. He's a good player.
So you're a fan. I've just been told, Russell, that the average age of the Liverpool players this weekend was under 25, which apparently is the first time for you in 2007. Maybe it's a sign of things to come. Do you think that's the right direction? Obviously, Carragher was rested, wasn't he? And Coates came in instead.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the problem with Squirtle was there in the defence, because he didn't get much support, which in my side, and I mean, he didn't play with Coates that much last season, and definitely, if Daniel Agger comes back, I think our defence is going to be the same as before, and you know, we were just unlucky in that defence with Coates and Squirtle, but I think Martin Kelly was brilliant. I think we should move him up there, and yeah, I mean, Coates is a young player. He's a really good defender to me, but I can understand that we dropped Carragher, because in games like against Manchester City or Arsenal, we really need young players.
Right.
Definitely.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because, guys, Carragher is Liverpool through and through, and it must be very difficult for him as well. What is he now, 33 or 34 perhaps? 34. So he must, I guess, he must realise that this is the season that he'll sort of be filtered out a little.
Well, I think he will, and I think he's an intelligent boy. He'll still know that he's got time and he's got things to add to Liverpool on the pitch.
Yeah.
But I think he's an intelligent lad where he'll know, learning from the likes of Kenny Dalglish and Rafa and all the guys that he's worked under. I think it's an absolute certainty you'll see him stay a part of Liverpool in the boot room. I think he'll go as a coach.
Okay.
I think Mike Marshall, I know from my playing days at Liverpool, has been promoted to first team coach. So I think there's lots of roles, and I think Liverpool evolved. When you ever look at the sort of their mentality or their philosophy, it was always about the boot room mentality.
It's from within.
They always had the coaches coming from within, and I think you'll 100% see Carragher go into that sort of role.
The other thing is Brendan Rodgers will know he needs a Jamie Carragher, and he's lucky to be at the club at a time when someone of that stature, someone so immersed in Liverpool Football Club, is available to him, not just as a player, but as someone to just bring in, talk to privately. what about this, what about that, how would we go forward? And he'll use them.
It's priceless. It's priceless.
Absolutely.
When you've got, because I've been there myself, and when you get to that 36, 34, 35, 36, you know your days are numbered, but it's priceless. You can't put a figure on what someone like that adds every single day. So when a manager's preaching what he wants, he'll get someone like Gerrard, he'll get someone like Carragher in, and he'll say, look, whatever I'm going to tell you now, let it just filter out into the dressing room.
Yeah.
So Jamie Carragher will then go back into the dressing room and relay the manager's thoughts in a sort of Jamie Carragher way. He won't let it look as though it's come from the manager.
Yeah.
So all the young boys, Raheem Sterling and all the Joe Allens think, well, our captain's, our vice-captain's saying it, the same thing as the manager, so it must be the right thing to do.
And there'll be a conversation, it won't be a one-way street. He'll ask Carragher what he thinks, because there's a lot more history and experience in Liverpool Football Club in Jamie Carragher than there ever is in Brendan Rodgers. So bring that into your thinking, understand it and work with it. And it's interesting what we've been discussing here.